300,000 years. They survived ice ages. They survived droughts. They survived predators that would have killed you in seconds. They built fires. They cared for their sick. They buried their dead with flowers. That is not a brute. That is grief. That is love. And then we showed up. And within 5,000 years, they were gone. Gone.
Let's fix something. Because you've been lied to about who these people were. Neanderthals were not stupid cavemen. They were not some failed prototype of humanity. They were a completely separate human species. Like, imagine if a wolf and a dog were both alive at the same time. Same family, very different animal. And they were genuinely tough. Stone tools so complex that modern researchers spent years trying to copy them. Years. They hunted mammoths, on foot, with spears. Animals the size of a bus. And won. They cooked, they made medicine from plants. And then there's this. They buried their dead. Not just buried, placed carefully. With flowers, with offerings. Someone who loved another person put flowers on their grave 40,000 years ago. That is not an animal. That is love. They had language, almost certainly. They may have had music. A bone with 4 holes carved into it, Slovenia. The oldest musical instrument ever found. 40,000 years old. Someone sat in a cave and played music. And we called them brutes. Cool. 60,000 years ago, Homo sapiens started leaving Africa. They followed the coast, followed food. And by 45,000 years ago, they were in Europe. The same Europe Neanderthals had called home for over 250,000 years. For a while, could be thousands of years, they just coexisted. Same land, same prey. Maybe they traded. Maybe they stared at each other across a valley. We genuinely don't know. But in some cases, they did more than stare. And we know this because of something that happened inside your body. If you are not of purely sub-Saharan African descent, right now, sitting wherever you are carrying Neanderthal DNA inside your cells. Go ahead. Take a second. I'll wait. At some point, in some camp, on some cold night, 2 people from completely different species decided not to be afraid. They were family. 2%. That's how much of your genome came from a Neanderthal. 2% sounds small. It isn't. That's roughly 70 million base pairs of DNA. That's a lot of Neanderthal. Some of that 2% shapes your immune system. Neanderthal variants that helped early humans fight diseases in Europe. Without that DNA, many ancestors might not have survived. Somewhere, 40,000 years ago, 2 people chose not to be afraid of each other. We don't know their names. We don't know their language. We just know the decision they made, because it's still written in your cells. So, if they were so capable, if they survived so long, what killed them?
3 theories. Pick your favorite. They all suck. Theory 1. Climate. 45,000 years ago, Europe's climate collapsed. The megafauna, the giant prey Neanderthals had hunted for millennia, started disappearing. Their food supply didn't shrink. It collapsed. Theory 1 score? Catastrophic. Theory 2. Competition. Homo sapiens arrived with long-range weapons, thrown spears, maybe nets. They didn't need to get close to the animal. Neanderthals did. In a world short of food, that gap became a death sentence. Theory 2 score? Also catastrophic. Theory 3? Disease. When Homo sapiens left Africa, they carried pathogens Neanderthals had never seen. No immune memory, no defense. We may have given them diseases the way European colonizers gave diseases to indigenous peoples, without meaning to, but with the same result. Theory 3 score? Devastating. But here's the twist. It wasn't one theory. All three happened at the same time. A warming world taking their food, a new competitor taking their space, an invisible killer taking their bodies. Three forces, all at once. They didn't stand a chance.
The last known Neanderthals lived in Gibraltar, southern tip of Spain. Ocean on three sides. Nowhere left to go. We found their tools, their fire pits, the shells of what they ate. Evidence of lives fully lived, right up to the end. And then, nothing. 30,000 years ago. Gone. But here's what I keep coming back to. 40,000 years later, their DNA is still in our cells. Something from that moment, that meeting on a cold night, something wasn't lost. Not their language, not their tools, not their knowledge. All of that went with them. But something remained. They never fully disappeared. Part of them is still in you. That's what extinction really means, sometimes. Not gone, just folded into someone else's story. The last Neanderthal died alone in Gibraltar. They never knew that anyone would remember them. We remember them now. But here's the thing. While the last Neanderthal sat in Gibraltar, somewhere nearby, around the same time, another group of humans was making a discovery. One that would change everything. Every civilization, every city, every meal you've ever eaten. Next episode, the night someone figured out fire. And it did not go the way you think.